Welcome back to Dabbling Dads with your host Kyle and Tyler, here to dabble into just about anything. You can find us everywhere using the hashtag Dabbling Dads. Thank you for listening. Hope you enjoy. Welcome back to Just Dabbling, Big Brother. Week 5. We're already at week 6.
No, week 5.
It is
we're on week 6, but we're gonna recap week 5.
Yeah. Correct. Week 5 just ended tonight, Thursday night.
Yeah, we had to wait a little while because it was a endurance, so we know who the head of household is. But just letting y'all know up front, Dabbling Dads, just type it in Google, you can find us. But I'm gonna do something different at the bottom of the YouTube. I'm gonna break it down like Sunday, Wednesday, Thursday, or I'll not do POV and eviction, but it'll be at the bottom, so you can just skip to those parts and then post after when we're just talking about what we think might happen, or me make a fool of myself like I already did, because I know I'm on tape last week saying the committee was over and Memphis was at the bottom, and then someone who had no clue, Christmas, she didn't understand that the committee was in shambles because Danny is a liar.
Yeah. But it's still a thing. Nicole talked about it tonight, still being a part of the committee. The committee is still a thing.
Yeah, I know, and I was totally off on that. No one's talking about it. But see, Christmas was still kind of in the...
I think that means it's a really good alliance.
It is 6 deep.
Yeah.
I have it, obviously.
Yeah.
I took notes. We watched Sunday night with the wives, and my wife all of a sudden thought she was the dabbler, so I had to go back and watch it. I fast forwarded through most of it, but the committee is Christmas, Memphis, Tyler, Danny, Nicole, and Cody. So that is the committee.
Yeah.
So going into Sunday, pretty much. I gotta say this. Cody knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
I feel bad for him. We'll get to that too. But as soon as Kaiser called them out, he disappeared into the darkness.
Yeah.
Quiet. He knows what's going on in the game, and I'm going to bring him up a little bit later, too.
He played with who I consider as the best to ever play, Derek Levasseur. He was a freaking cop the whole time, was partners with Cody the whole time, the hitman. Cody didn't even know he was a cop the whole time, and was his number one man, obvious number one man. Cody was doing all his dirty work, made it to the end with him. Worst decision ever. Cody won the final HOH that season and could have got an easy win. Was it Jacosta? Surely it wasn't Jacosta.
He's too nice of a guy, it sounds like to me, man.
He's like, I came the whole way with him. I made him a promise. I brought him in. Derek was obviously going to win. But anyways, yeah, he played with one of the best players ever and went to the end with him. So, yeah, he knows.
Well, I think if I played, I'd be one of the best players ever.
Yeah, well.
I'd like to get on
start
there.
applying.
I'm about to. I am. I told my wife that today. I said, I don't know what my job would think about it, but that's beyond the point. So I did. That was my first note. Cody knew he had to do damage control and just kind of chill out. But, Danny was upset about it, about the whole triangle and all of that later. But I thought it was interesting that Christmas, one of her first conversations was with Danny.
Yeah.
And that kind of confirmed the Bay day. And then she went to Enzo, and Enzo was just, I'm going to do whatever you want to do because you did whatever I want to do, but I'm not going to go up on the block. And he wasn't going to do that.
Yeah.
But I think if that conversation would have been switched, I think it would have been more of the way. And I thought that's what was going to happen. But I didn't know Christmas and Danny had that relationship to talk game like that immediately. And, Danny basically said Bay and Day, and Christmas had that one piece of information that I can never be above this person in the game, so Bailey has to go.
Yeah.
Which is good game.
And she tried to keep saying that over and over and over tonight. She did continue to say that. I'm not going to get into the political side of it, but there's just been stuff said in the house that's just, in this political climate we live in, really can't be said, and it's sort of being brought to light when, 2 women of color are immediately put up, and I hate that that's what it goes to, man, but that's what CBS has been obviously pushing that method also. 2 seasons in a row, people saying just racist, dumb things, and then boom, 2 of the, I'm not trying to push that narrative. I'm just saying that's what's being pushed. That's how I'm receiving what they're
from the production part of it and all that.
Yes,
I get all that, man. And see, when I'm watching, like I said before, I'm watching as if I'm playing the game.
Yeah.
And we'll get into that where it's personal, where she talks about personal game, because I thought that was funny. But before the first commercial, I didn't realize it, but I wrote it down who was picking who. But the Slick Six were picking each other at the beginning, because I think they realized that Danny had been lying and turning on all of them.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
So were they just trying to get someone to talk? Were they trying to expose someone by, throwing rocks, seeing who was the first person to return fire? Or, I don't know. That was a strange thing that happened.
It was strange. I think Kaiser had everybody a little shook of what was going on and kind of scrambled everybody's true alliances and fake alliances. And like you said, you want to baby that fake alliance. And it was kind of when Kaiser blew up some of the core part of the game, they were like, oh, I'm not protecting my fake alliance right now. I got to stay with my true and behold, because the game is opening up.
Yeah.
Because the distraction is gone. It was obviously... I never saw her play, but the amount of clout that they were giving Janelle, like... She must just be incredible, or everyone thinks she's incredible, because, I mean, it was like anyone associated with
Janelle. Ever, I believe. So
yeah,
she's pretty good at the game.
Ian also.
Yeah, she's pretty good at the game.
But yeah, I saw Christmas and Danny celebrating, and I was just like, man, I missed that, man. I really did. I didn't really understand. I was off about the committee and the Slick Six. I knew the Slick Six was breaking apart, but I thought they would win the HOH. Christmas got given a gift. She only had to play twice and missed the last and didn't even ring in on the last question.
Yeah.
But we know one of our listeners, Bubba, he loved Christmas since she won HOH, and I
didn't hear from him tonight, so I don't know what he feels about it. Maybe he hasn't watched.
Maybe he knows that we were waiting to talk about it.
Yeah. I don't know. But anyways, yeah, I don't know. I'm indifferent on Christmas, man. Like, you could argue that, well, she made it to the final three with a broken leg, and I'm like, well, yeah, dude, it's easy to take someone who has nothing to back their game up because they've had a broken leg the whole time. Of course, you drag her along as long as you possibly can. I would have. What's her? Oh, I had a great social game. Perfect. How many competitions did you win? How many?
She won like a real important one though.
Yeah.
Like it was like Final Four or something like that. It was something she didn't need. It might have been one of the spin the boards or something. I can't remember either. But she definitely won. So even that first Sunday. So we're still in Sunday. Before the nomination ceremony, Tyler and Bay already started getting into it a little bit because she was trying to calm her down. It's like, I hate that they came into this game having to think that they couldn't be them.
Yeah.
Like, if you're an emotional player, and Enzo calls it later, and I wrote it down, but, like, if you're an emotional player, that's part of your game. Blowing up, that's part of other people's game.
Josh, going back to another winner. Josh won blowing up the entire season. I mean, literally, people have a serious conversation. He's coming in the room with pots and pans, like...
Dude, the whole time, I thought he was going home, like, in the first 3 weeks, and then he was
won the show.
He did. I know. I remember
one of
when
the
he
best
told me
players
that.
ever.
That was the time. Remember
one
when
of your favorite players ever. I can't stand him though.
Paul.
Yeah. Lost twice in a row, deservingly.
No, who I really wanted on this show was Vanessa, the poker player.
Oh yeah.
I think she could have calmed the girls. Even though I think she likes hanging around with the guys, I think she could have been the girls' leader because Nicole is playing a hell of a game to be already a champion. Her social game is off the charts, and I think she believes she can win when she has to.
Yeah.
But her and Cody had this secret final two where I'm pretty sure it might have been the first episode or somewhere in there where they were like, we're a final two, had to be talked out before the show probably.
Yeah.
Because even you told me that, I'm not to get off topic, but just like your history, like on the plane you're not supposed to be talking, but like there were things being already said before the game began.
Yeah.
And these being all-stars, I think there was
They were on the same season. They played together before, so they were enemies. They were in opposing
because she was paired up though. She was in a
showmatch with the he drove like a pedal thing
right before Jerry.
Can't remember his name. Yeah, he was like.
Is that who she's marrying?
Like no, she's marrying the Puerto Rican guy.
Sorry, dude, to put you on the spot.
Yeah, man. I can't remember his name.
But this is the time that Tyler ended up when it was him and Bay and they got all emotional. That was the time that Tyler was like, gave y'all info, y'all can trust me or whatever. Then he got to the nom ceremony, and obviously Bay Day went up on the block, man. So I was watching it and I was like, oh shit, I'm wrong as can be. But like we said before, it's just fun to guess and have a different way to think. I know you want to wait because you're doing the production part. So that's all I really have for Sunday, man. It was really just about Christmas and realizing that Christmas still believed in the committee.
Yeah.
Committee's still a thing. I think Memphis is in more power. He probably still thinks he has more power than he does, but they're carrying him right now because he can't win.
Well, he's floating. He has that HOH in his belt. Let's get to we'll wrap up. I keep coming back to this name in my head that I want to talk about, but I want to wait till the end because I said I wasn't going to pick who I think can win the game, but I have a name in my head, so we'll talk about that at the end. It's not Memphis. I still hate that dude. Thank God that hadn't been shown him very much. He's just an arrogant prick. I don't like him,
but anyway, so let's go to Wednesday.
Wednesday. I'm sorry. Come on.
So let's go to Wednesday. Another show I've been watching is Love Island. It comes on every night. It's crazy. But Wednesday is the POV comp day, obviously. Bay and Christmas, they just are crying and this, that, and the other. And I feel like Christmas is trying to be like, this is a game. You said that was your untouchable. Y'all are a pair. Y'all are the most for sure pair that I know of. And that's my game. That's Christmas's game.
Yeah. I got to break it up.
Yeah. She keeps going back to that. And not to bring up the tonight, but when Bailey's like, should we share who your untouchable is? And Christmas says no. But they've never shown, and I don't know, Christmas claims like they've never shown that she even said hers. She just said, you need to share yours first. So we don't know. We know that it's Tyler, but...
Yeah. Yeah, she never said it. She didn't say it from what I saw.
So right then and there, Bae should have been like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
But she wasn't.
Yeah, because they get wrapped up, man. Like, it's got to be... you go in there with the game plan, but once you get in there and, punches start getting thrown, you realize you're in a fight and all your plans go out the window at that point, dude. So it's like, I don't know. I don't know what else she could have done. She should have never. Well, I want you to tell me yours first. It's like at that point, it's like, all right, why don't we just like drop this then?
Yeah, but Bailey keeps doing that.
Or why did she not just say, well, you obviously Christmas, am I not yours? Like, why can't put her on the spot, flip it on her? I mean, you got to be on your toes to play and think like that. You really do. But why not just immediately flip it back on her and say, you're my untouchable. Like, am I not yours? So you're telling me you've been bullshitting me the whole time.
Exactly. That's true too. And it's like maybe that's what Christmas was expecting. Because she's playing the game, and Bailey just missed the boat.
That was the answer she wanted and didn't get.
Yeah, so Wednesday we start seeing Danny and Christmas. They're talking about Tyler. Christmas in the diary room says she knows Danny's a snake too. So that's interesting. So it's kind of like she's the gardener, just like Enzo said. But it ended up being in the veto. Christmas, Nicole F., Day Bay, obviously, Danny, and Ian. And Ian was like sick.
I think he's having like severe anxiety is what it looked like to me, man. Like when he was sitting and couldn't. I know he's on the spectrum, but like beyond that, like he's obviously when he's having a serious conversation. If you notice him, he's rocking a lot of the time, anyways. But this was like a uncontrollable, anxiety-driven movement, in my opinion. That's what it looked like to me. Like the game's catching up to him, or maybe just everything before going in there, and I don't know. He's having issues. It wasn't good. Missed out. Didn't even play in the veto. So
I know that was crazy. I wonder if that's the first time ever there's only been 5 people in the veto. I don't know, but I wrote down also Cody's laying low, very good again. So I mean, I thought he was playing the game well in that aspect. So then the veto, then they started talking. Danny and Nicole were like, throw it to Devon, this, that, and the other. But I love the reaction game. And I'll go ahead and tell y'all, I'm good at quick math like that. I would have won.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have. They were very slow, it seemed, at least on the production part. It's like they were like adding and subtracting. Like I feel like I would have had an advantage in that one. So, but this was the first time they did the prizes.
Yeah.
So I wrote down the prizes, of course.
Well, it's the first veto that they've done it.
Yeah, this season or whatever.
Which will be the only time they do it too, probably. But.
So what I wrote this down, producers are funny. And I wrote that down because this was, before this veto, is the first time that there were talks of throwing the veto amongst many people.
Oh, yeah.
So it was like they were baiting for you to have to show your game and be like, I'm going to take the $5,000 and let Day keep the veto.
Yeah.
That's why I just thought the producers were funny.
Well, yeah. What a smart play that was by Nicole though, by getting the 5,000 and being like, I wore the unitard both times I played the game. I'm gonna wear it again this time. Yeah, it was nice of her, but 100% gameplay. Like, I don't think that was just a pure of the heart kindness move. I think that was game. It's a very smart game move.
I mean, it kept her in the Davon conversations, like later on when they're talking about girls' alliances and all of that. Because this goes back to what I was saying earlier about Cody and Nicole. So I think they have this final two together, but they made this deal with each other where you're going to go on this side of the house. I'm going to go on this side of the house. We're going to be maybe in one alliance because they're not in the Slick Six together. But it's like, and then we're going to be kind of separate, but then we're going to really be together this whole time and no one will be expecting it. So if they are doing that, Ian called it correctly with just understanding there's a core people.
Yeah.
And then there's all these tentacles of these people who they're just going to pick off as it goes.
Well, that's definitely what's happening. And the first shots fired were this week when Davon and Bay, who thought they were a part, which they were a part of the Slick Six, once they realized that, oh shit, that's not the real one. Those are the tentacles. I mean, he nailed it. He nailed it on the head. But I know he was sick this week, but he's just smart. Like, people are arguing, he's just like taking a shower. Like, I'm just, don't mind me type game he's playing. It's hard to win playing like that. I know he's going to win competitions if he stays in the game. So as long as he can compete in them.
He said that he was going to lay low 4 to 5 weeks. So we're around the time he's going to turn it up. I think Cody's the only one that believes that he can turn it up, just based off of things I've read. So anyway, so the prizes were food and fitness plan on, and you can't be a have-not. Slopatar, which we said Nicole had, Danny cannot be a have-not anymore. $5,000 cash. Nicole gave it to Devon, and then the triathlete, the 500 laps on the tricycle. They didn't even show it, I don't think, but in the Twitter feed, I got to see like a small video. It was like a huge tricycle, and she had to like go around a small track outside, and she had to do it 500 times.
Bullshit like that.
God, it was terrible. But also in this episode, you started seeing Tyler, and I started noticing it when someone said it, but Tyler does look skinny and sick. Like, he's being bothered.
Yeah.
And I think it comes down to he misses Angela.
Yeah.
And I think he thought he wasn't in good position in the game, and he didn't want to be on the jury because if he couldn't win,
he didn't want to have to live there.
He didn't want to have to stay in the jury, which is a kind of a spoiler that wasn't on the actual feed, but Julie said no one is returning. The other 5 guests have been sent home.
Yeah, well, that was on the live show.
Oh, it was on live show? I must have missed that part at the very end. I was watching
She
football.
announced it. She told him. She said, there's been a lot of talk that the people who have already been voted out are going to compete to come back in the house. I just want to let y'all know the people who have gone home, we have sent home, like, they're not coming back into the game type deal. So you have made the jury at this point. So they all are jury. So poor Tyler, he's going to have to go a little longer.
Yeah, but I think his game feels a little rejuvenated. I mean, Christmas proved that that's my final two.
Yeah.
He is a comp.
He's got a final two with pretty much whoever he wants. He's a very safe spot right now.
Well, it just depends because we know who won the HOH. We're going to wait, but I can say it now.
Oh, yeah.
Danny has won. It looked like Cody and Nicole dropped at the same time, which is weird. Those three, Kaiser is the one called out. And just by seeing, I didn't watch the live feeds, so I don't know if there was a deal made or what was made. But Danny has won the HOH, but Nicole and Cody dropped out at 1 hour and 23 minutes, both of them. So they obviously gave it to Danny. Nicole knows about Danny's power, which is the replay.
And so obviously, because she can only use it next week, I think is the last time she can use it, I believe.
Yeah, they have 2 weeks left. Maybe we skipped that on the Sunday episode, what the powers were.
Did you write it down?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, read them real quick.
Let me just go back real quick to the powers. The replay power, obviously, Danny has, and there was this week she could have done it, so she had 2 weeks left, so this week or the next week. And that makes it where the HOH can play again. And then David had the Disruptor power, which he has to use that whenever the noms are actually happening. Sorry, my notes are all scrambled, dude. So the Disruptor power is interesting. The Disruptor power is very interesting, dude. Because
you need to go to your most recent one and scroll.
I got it right here. So the Disruptor is where you can save one of the nominees and they're saved for the week.
Yeah.
So if he gets put up on the nomination ceremony. So what's interesting on the live feeds or on the Twitter thing that I read, it said that there was so apparently they tell them whatever they say, and those are my nominations, or when they get done with their speech, they say something that like cues the show to be over. And Nicole picked up that there was a longer time between them coming, because they obviously cut that out. There's a longer time coming over the intercom of, okay, now the nomination ceremony is over. So she thought in her head somebody has something that can change the nominations, which is so smart. I just thought that was smart. And then the last one is blocker, which means you can prevent yourself or another from being a placement at the POV ceremony.
Yeah. Well, it's smart, but like this game, they go into this game knowing that this is like a multi-dimensional game, so they have to focus and pay attention to everything that's going on. One of the later challenges is going to be a memory
of the days
of just different. What day did this happen? Well, that type of stuff. I mean, they are hyper aware in there the whole time. The people that know what they're doing, they better be. That's because that's I can't remember what week it's at, but it's an important competition.
It's like with 5 left or something like that. Everybody plays. It's one of those where everybody's playing. And then, the whole fallout between Tyler and Christmas and him being like, I just want to go home. Yeah. And then he goes and talks to Christmas for 2 hours. They don't show it, but while Tyler was in there.
Well, have you told the conversation between, are we already on, what day are we on?
This is all after the POV, so this is still Wednesday night, which you watched today, you said.
Okay, yeah.
So this is where Tyler is talking to Christmas, and she's like, I owe it to them. I'm trying to own that I did that shady stuff. But what they didn't show on TV, which you might find interesting, is while Tyler was in there with Christmas, it was actually like 2 hours, Danny is with Nicole. And Danny, the whole time, is freaking out thinking Tyler is throwing her under the bus, which is very important now that she is the HOH.
Yeah.
You can't put Tyler on the block, though. You have to backdoor Tyler.
Yeah,
I just don't know if she has the votes.
I think that's probably her plan, though.
Yeah, you're probably right.
You say that.
Yeah, they didn't show that on the production, but she was freaking out that Tyler was up there because she got caught in a lie.
Well, she was the first person to say his name anyways, right?
Mm-hmm. Just because she talked to Day and Bay, too, and then Tyler started feeling bad about it, and then he wanted to go home, and then obviously it turns out, they all think that he was just trying to save face and whatnot because of what happened tonight, because the noms ended up staying the same.
So you think all the crowning and whatnot was a show and the sunglasses on and all that was a show?
I don't think that was a show. I think he was feeling upset because he didn't like his position in the game, like I said, and he was going to miss Angela, and he knew that jury was coming. I think that he did feel guilty because I know that Bailey said that he texted her during the whole BLM, and she was like, am I the only black person that you know? And stuff like that. So I think there's some depths outside the game, and he just felt like him betraying them for some reason, trying to get them out of the game, was not the way his heart really felt and the purpose they were here for the game. Because they made it very clear, like, it's bigger than the game for them.
Yeah.
And I think that some outside influences and how he felt, maybe his relationship with Bay, is he just couldn't separate game and personal, man. And it's been eating at him, I think. That's what really happened. And Christmas was like, this is bad for my game, and I'm the HOH, so you're staying at least one more week, bro.
She said that over and over. Like, he's like, well, I ultimately know it's your decision. She's like, yeah, you're right, and know that I'm going to make my decision for me. She straight up said that, I think, pretty much close to the same thing. Yeah. So yeah, but anyways, moving on to tonight. That ends that episode, their conversation, correct?
Yes, and then it goes to Thursday, and then we're talking about, once again, I said Christmas is all about the committee. So the committee is back. But post-veto meeting, obviously Bailey and Day are up on the block. And she's just continuing, like you said. Bay and Day now feel tricked. Christmas is definitely just being like, that is not good for my game. One of y'all Bailey has to go, is what has to happen. Is basically what Christmas, I think, was campaigning in the house, and she's the HOH. And I think a lot of players are just letting the HOH rule right now.
Yeah. Yep. Well, I mean, that's sort of the smart thing to do if you don't want to. You're playing All-Stars, and I feel like everyone's up next on the chopping block, or at least feel like they are. When you're playing with some people who are supposed to be some of the best, you gotta, it's a everyday thing. So it's like, oh, you're in charge, I'll do whatever you freaking say.
And that's why I liked Paul and some of those guys, and I feel like that's how I would want to play the game. You have to be the puppeteer, but everybody else is getting bloody. And no one is willing to be the puppeteer yet, except for Danny. And now she has the power. which is very interesting. But so post veto meeting, Christmas and Day, she explains to Davon what's happening, but the Christmas puns on the show, they crack me up. Like coal for you,
Yeah.
There's a Christmas present, like Tyler, her saying all of that. Day understands that she's staying in the game, so she's trying to not burn as many bridges as she can. And it's really, you can tell she's like a bottled.
She was playing with freaking kerosene tonight. I mean, she, what'd she say? You wanted, what did she say? You wanted you wanted to provoke me? I'm provoked.
She said, you're trying to provoke me? I'm provoked. I wrote it in all caps, exclamation. Yeah. I love it. This is the Big Brother that I like to watch. I like to see the drama. I hate that, that Bay and Dave feel like I'm not allowed to explode because
people think I'm a did you write that down?
A crazy black something woman or something like that.
That's so sad that
it messes with be you. You got to be you sometimes.
I blame that on the fan base because they've obviously been attacked. To feel that way, they've obviously had some real hate spewed their way. Probably on the internet, which Joe Rogan says it best. Don't read that shit. Like, you're on TV, you're doing your thing. Quit reading what people think. It doesn't matter. But
it's sad because
it is sad. I hate they feel that way. I really do, and no one really should. Or it's sad. It's 2020. We're still dealing with this. It's crazy. But anyways.
Yeah, man, it's a little bit crazy. So what was funny when it first started getting heated between Day and Christmas, poor Ian came in and she was like, I put Ian on the block. He's like, no, I don't want to put you on the block. But then he gets in the shower. He's stuck in the shower with no towel.
Yeah.
Because ain't nobody moving. They're all frozen. David looks like he's like, this is called Big Brother, David.
Yeah,
welcome.
And then Bay just stumbles in there. She's like asking someone a question, not even realizing the fight's going on. And they're all like dead silent. And then she gets involved. So big screaming match tonight. Bay, Day, and Christmas.
Christmas is clapping. She's like, get your fingers out of my face. Bay says. Day goes outside. All the guys are like, I'm just trying to play pool. This is why we're trying to get some of them out of here. Enzo said it best when he was talking to Christmas. He said, Bay, Day, and Danny are the three most emotional players in the game. I like where Enzo, the guys, the three musketeers is what I call them. They had to lay low. Tyler obviously was in all that nonsense. He needs to lay low this week, especially with Danny being the HOH. But the plan's going to be to backdoor him. I feel like this is the time a pawn goes home, though.
Yeah, because he can win. If he does get put up, he's got a good chance winning the veto. Depending on the competition, he stands a good chance, though. He's a good competitor.
There won't be a girl up there with him, I don't think, unless Danny wants to go after Day, because they got this new girls' alliance going on, so it could be like Kevin or David. Also,
which is fine if David goes up there, he's fine. If I was him, I'd be like chilling. You can put me up there if you want to. Yeah, I want to try and win the veto, and if I don't, I'm taking myself down. So
I think he has to do it at the nom ceremony.
Oh, okay.
I think that's what it is. I think it's a replay HOH, a nom ceremony power, and a POV power.
Gotcha.
I think that's, but yeah, she
said. But even better, your name pops up on the screen. It's like, the kid Matambo.
No.
Yeah. Not this week.
No, I'm also safe the whole week. So,
yeah.
Let's go with that. But I could see him getting talked into playing the veto for somebody. He's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
He doesn't know what's going on.
But anyways, Christmas ends up winning that competition. Doesn't take anybody down. Ends up being a 9-0 vote. Bailey. She goes home. I thought she handled herself well all around tonight. Even when they lost in the veto, they were the first two out, Davon and Bailey. Like, Davon's pitching a fit like a child. And, Bailey just sort of handled it with, God, I'm an idiot. I lost. Pretty much. I was impressed with the way she handled herself. I really was. But she went home. She's gone. Like you said, we'll have to put spoiler. I think in the title you should put spoilers in there because we said Danny pretty soon. But Danny is the HOH.
Yeah.
Should be interesting. As far as like game going forward, you said a lot of things that really stirred different things in my mind. Like the name that kept coming to my head was Enzo, though. Like he's playing the perfect. He's got a resume already, a decent one. Really haven't heard a single person talking about him as a potential person to go anywhere, which is a great place to be. He hasn't been in any of these arguments. He's sitting in a pretty place, but Danny, winning tonight is huge because she gets to play next week. Also, a chance to win back-to-back and really turn the game in her favor however she would like. Freaking huge. She can no longer be a have-not, so she doesn't have to worry about a whole bunch of anything where she's sitting right now, which is a good point in the game to do it. Cody and Nicole, I mean, really, if they're smart enough to get close to the end, it'd be hard not to see one of them winning it. But Enzo, right now, I'm saying he's going to win it. But he is my dark horse to win the show. Enzo.
I like Enzo, man, too. Yeah. He's playing it well. He is against Ian and Nicole winning. Yeah. Because they've already won. Yeah. He's like that type of guy. They've already got their money. They've won. They've got to go at some point.
And that could be where his trouble comes when he goes for Nicole. Because that's when Cody could be like, nah, guys. Enzo's
at some point, Cody's got to drop Nicole, though.
If he wants to win, probably.
Unless he thinks being sitting next to her means I'm going to win.
Yeah.
I could see that being
But a winner getting to the final, I'm not going to say guarantees a win because, like we just talked about, your guy Paul, he went back-to-back finales and didn't win either one of them.
That's true, but he's not a good speaker at the end, man. Well, some of his game, but
he just refused to own his game, like I've said many, many times. It's going to be a knockdown drag out there at the end. I really don't know who will win, but Enzo is my dark horse right now. This is week 5, going into week 6. You can see we got a Titans flag up, changed up our little deal a little bit.
Dude, I gotta make my prediction of the block real quick.
Oh, you're gonna predict the block?
Yep. Sorry.
Scratch everything I just said.
We'll come back to Titans real quick. I know we're out of time. Sorry, man.
Talk quicker.
Sorry, man. I let
you were not talking like you were.
I was checking my notes. So, Danny obviously pitched to Christmas. She wanted Bay and Day gone. I still think Danny doesn't want Day, but I think the ultimate plan is to backdoor Tyler. So I think it's going to be Day with a Kevin Pond, and the plan is to backdoor Tyler. And I think Kevin, even though I like him and I like his floater-esque type game like you explained last week, but I think that could be something that happens because Danny doesn't really talk game with Kevin, and it's going to be one of those situations where she wants to put him up, but she's just going to tell him that he's a pawn. Day is going up and alongside, and the plan is to bring Day down and put Tyler next to Kevin, and then Kevin will go home as a pawn. That's my prediction. I could be wrong like last week, but that's my prediction.
I don't see Day going on the block again. She may, but I don't see that. I think it'll be 2 mils.
It could be 2 mils. I'm telling you, the plan is to backdoor Tyler.
But anyways, that's week 5.
We got the Titans up.
Going to week 6. Yeah, I got the Titans flag up. Football started tonight also. It was a big night of sports, actually.
Lakers.
Football's coming, so be on the. If you've made it to this point, and you like football, be on the lookout because we'll be bringing a lot of probably football content in different ways and forms, and
especially the finals too. We'll probably talk a little basketball.
Yeah, Lakers won again. Go up 3-1 tonight against Houston. So, anyways, thanks for listening.
Just dabbling. Big Brother All Stars.
Peace.
Bye.